Hey, welcome everybody. Michael McIntyre and Brianna McIntyre, our humble host. How you doing, Boo?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm a little bit, I don't know, a little bit out of sorts.
Why?
Why? Why do you think? I mean, stock market's crashing into the Christmas.
What if you didn't look at the stock market?
Oh, I don't know. I'd probably go crazy. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the other day when we were all playing. What was that game?
Oh.
Blackout or something?
No.
Blurred out?
No.
Okay. Anyways.
I don't know. I forget what the name
So anyways, all right. So welcome everybody to our McIntyre Inc Podcast.
Yes.
And Brianna is hosting and co-hosting and hosting all at the same time. So I'm just here for
all
the ride.
All the rules.
Yeah. All right. So what's happening? All right. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about entertainment.
Yes.
Talk about Hellenism.
Yes.
Yeah, Hellenism. Let me just first say, where did I learn Hellenism from?
Right.
Okay. What is that podcast called?
Bema
podcast, that was turned on to us by Merrick Porkadoo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And a while back at a birthday party we were at. And so we started watching this and I got obsessed. And I listened to this podcast, the Bema podcast, and the original is better. They went back and redid some things.
Was it season 1 that they redid?
I think so. And that really kind of
through you.
It did. But anyways, I went back. The original thing, I was like into it because it's two guys who are Messianic Jews,
Mm-hmm.
right? Did I say that right?
And they're rabbis.
And they're rabbis.
But one's
a rabbi.
Right?
I don't know. Anyways.
Marty Solomon
and somebody else. But they were fascinating. And it really increased my faith greatly, just learning about Genesis and the book of Genesis, which is really fascinating. And so it got into things about Alexander the Great. Mm-hmm. And he said Alexander the Great wasn't so great. He was kind of Alexander the ass. He was not very nice, right? And so he conquered everything, right? He was conquering the world. And in that process, when he got to Rome, it wasn't Italy then, it was Rome. Mm-hmm. And he kind of figured out after a while that it's very expensive to come in and occupy a country. Because what do they do when they occupy a country?
Well, they send their military.
Right. And they have to maintain peace.
Right.
They have to establish business. They have to establish new government. It's very, very expensive. So he came up with the idea, somebody did, and it's
an ideology.
It's an ideology, and it's called Hellenism. And it's not about hell or ism.
It's from the Greek.
Yeah, it's from the Greek, right? And it started in Decapolis, and so which is a part, Decapolis, yeah. Anyways, there's 4 parts to it, and it's very prominent today. It's lasted that long, and it was really genius the way he did it, and or somebody advised him to do it, but he did it. And there's 4 mechanisms to Hellenism. The first is, and kind of what we want to talk about a little bit today, is entertainment. Mm-hmm. And this is where the Greek tragedy came from. The Greek, what is it called? The plays, the Greek plays, what was it? Yeah, I mean... Isn't it something to do with the Greek tragedies or...
the Greek theater?
Yeah, the Greek theater. Anyways, that was about entertainment, and that was to keep everybody entertained, right? The other thing they had a thing called gymnasium, but gymnasium didn't mean gymnasium as we know it today. It meant like education. Mm-hmm. Okay, university. That's where the university came from. Right. So that's why you have, and even today you have. What were you in over at the SMU place? Mm-hmm. What was it called? Some Greek house or something?
Oh, sorority.
Sorority.
Oh, okay.
It was called Alpha Beta.
Fraternity. Chi Omega.
Chi Omega, right. Okay, so that's even live today at the universities. It's the Greek life, right?
Yes.
This is what they call it. Yes? All right.
And I'm sorry, I'm tracking. Yeah.
Okay. Pay attention to me, not your computer.
Well... okay,
what
sorry.
The heck,
I was trying to do research on the spot, to remember this. I did study this in college.
Do we even have Wi-Fi in this beautiful studio?
We do have Wi-Fi.
All right.
But yes, and the whole thing was called, the organization that I was a part of, or the greater organization was the Panhellenic
Right.
Like,
And it all stems back to the Greek stuff.
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes.
So you had entertainment, which was the theater, right? The famous Greek theater, the tragedies, the
dramas,
the
or the comedies,
all that sort of thing.
And tragedies.
Is there an official name?
I was trying to find the official
All right,
name.
So then you had the university.
Okay, yeah.
And then you had the hospitals, which was health and taking care of people. So they said, okay, let's first of all, let's have, we'll make sure to entertain everybody. Secondly, we'll make sure we educate people the way we want them to educate. Look what's going on in today's universities, right? A lot of, most of the professors right now are liberal, right? About 95, 98%. And maybe, yeah. And so, and then the third thing was the hospitalization.
Mm-hmm.
He created hospitals to keep everybody healthy. Everybody wanted to be healthy. So if they broke their leg or, stubbed their toe or whatever, they want to be part of that program. And then I'm trying to think what the fourth one was.
Isn't it like bread, food, something? No.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
One second. Now you're sparking all these other thoughts for me, and I was thinking about same thing. I think was recreated with in a smaller context, but with like Marie Antoinette and. Because they would bring everyone out to Versailles, so all of the like wealthy people were entertained.
Yeah, that's the entertainment, right?
Correct. Right. Yeah, but I'm just
that's the theater.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got there's four things to Hellenism. Look it up. And I'm forgetting the fourth thing, but it's important to this topic that we're going to have today on the podcast because it's prevalent today. And the reason is, if you look at things. Some of you may remember this, but when Taylor Swift, not a fan, was going to redo her whole, she's going to go on tour for the first time, like 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, whenever it was.
The Eras tour, like the most recent.
It was some big tour, and the internet broke.
Oh yeah,
what tour was that?
It was probably the Eras tour.
Yeah, and so they hauled Congress and those people in, saying what happened to this? Okay. And you would think, why would Congress care that her, Ticketmaster went down, and people got all pissed off about it. Why would they care? I'll tell you why they care. Because it's control. It's to control. The government wants to make sure please the people.
Right.
Because if the people aren't pleased, at some point they're going to turn on and bite them in the ass.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So then another thing is sports. That was it.
Yes, okay.
Thank you, Jesus.
Well, it was the Coliseum.
Right. The Olympics.
Right.
This is where the Olympics came from. This is where the Coliseum come from. This is where, the Olympics. Okay. That's Greek. Right? And so that would entertain people.
Right.
Look at today. The National Football League. Big fan. Okay, I watch the stuff. But it's corrupt with betting, and there's all in NBA. It's betting. There's all kinds of things that go in there. They're hauling people in here for this. Why would anybody care if anybody loses money on a game?
Right.
I'll tell you why. Because if the masses are saying that this is not going to be, this is not going legitimately, you're going to have riots in the street. You're going to have people pissed off. If they can't trust their bets in Vegas on the game or parlays, now you got betting everywhere.
Right.
Okay. Again, this is all about Hellenism.
Right.
So you've got sports. Okay. You've got the health hospitals. You've got the universities, and you've got the entertainment.
Yeah.
These are the four pillars of Hellenism. Super alive today.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You got Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, right? Which is basically the Unaffordable Care Act.
Right.
Okay. This is what they were trying to do: give everybody health insurance. They did this in the UK. They did this in Great Britain, right? And it's called the National Health Insurance.
And it failed.
Deal. And it's a big piece of doo-doo. Nobody wants to go because you got a 4-year waiting period to get appendix out, right? So, and I'm exaggerating. It might be 3 years and 9 months. All right. So, but who's counting? Anyways, this is what I think is really interesting. So these things, now you've got a company here, okay, for those of you that do follow the stock market, is Netflix is trying to buy Paramount. Why do we care about that?
It's a big
Why
deal.
do you think, Brianna?
Well, that controls the narrative.
Of what?
Of what they're going to show, the kinds of movies they're going to create.
Okay, that's one.
And so then in the agenda, maybe some agendas that are more liberal
Could
will
be.
be that.
Because if you watch Netflix, anything, and I watch Netflix,
Right.
I don't think there's a Netflix show right now that doesn't have a gay or lesbian theme.
Right.
Or at least a gay and lesbian character
Right.
or a trans character,
Right.
correct?
Right.
I mean, every
and so
Netflix-
they're making these smaller subsects of people seem like the majority.
That's right. And also, the other thing is, it could do away with theaters.
Right, which is sad.
Which Trump doesn't like that.
Right.
Why doesn't Trump like that? Why wouldn't the government like that?
Like theater being
Why
done
would
away
they
with?
want? Why would it upset them that theater people would not have theaters to go see movies anymore?
Oh, movie theaters.
Right,
Okay.
movie theaters.
Well, I think people need to be public and
That's right.
and congregate.
Right.
It's important.
And have a commune,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And commune and have, even though, I mean, we saw your mother, well, I saw 2 movies this week,
And
right?
I saw one, yeah.
You saw one with us, okay?
Yeah.
And Brecca got freaked out because there were so many people there.
Yeah.
That was on Christmas Day.
That was crazy.
And
Yeah.
we like going Christmas Day. And
Yes.
by the, you're
Evening.
tired to open up presents.
What else are you
some
gonna
of
do?
some of us are drunk. We weren't. And so, what are we going to do? We're going to go to the movies. And so a lot of people do. Or a Chinese restaurant, right? And all the Chinese restaurants were closed. So we went to the movies. We saw what?
We saw
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme. Yes. I'm sorry. You are going so fast right now, and I just want you to know that this is
Is it too fast for you boys back there in the booth?
No, they're like, we're fine. Okay, I just to get it off my plate: media, education, athletics, and healthcare. That's how BEMA categorizes the 4 pillars of Hellenism.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
So theaters are important. I remember one time there was a movie I saw, and this is anecdotal. Years ago, it was Arrival. The one with Amy Adams, and I forget the guy who's in it, but where the aliens come to Earth. You've seen it.
Okay.
And they communicate in circles, like
It's Interstellar.
Arrival. It's Arrival.
Arrival.
I literally said
Interstellar
it.
was good too.
Interstellar was great.
All right.
Okay, I loved Arrival. Okay.
Why?
Why? I mean, for a lot of reasons, but I felt like it. If you've never experienced having a knowing from God or a prophetic understanding of what's to come, I think it's a beautiful depiction of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it's a very pro-life movie, I feel like, in the end. But
cool.
okay, to me, a theater is important because, one, you don't have to meet up if you want to go with friends or people that you're not going to just.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a community experience.
It's entertainment.
Whether or not you talk to anyone else in the theater that you don't know, you feel the room.
It's true.
And so there's something about watching something big and epic, and this is a blockbuster, and it's intended to be experienced within community that is totally different than alone. I love watching movies alone too, but there's something. It's a feeling.
Yeah, no, plus you get out, you
Right.
get out and see. Yeah.
But so going back to when I saw Arrival, I was so intrigued and inspired by this movie that I think I saw it 3 days in a row. And I saw it with a different group of people each day. And I love the conversation that you could have after the movie. And so I noticed that on Christmas night, people were congregating and they were talking about it, because they were going to go their separate ways afterwards. But I mean, they knew each other. But I think that there's something so important about actually, hey, how did this affect you? Did it affect you? Did you think it was stupid? Well,
and the theater you're engaged.
Yes.
Instead of being at a house,
right.
You're on the phone,
Right.
you're texting, you're going to the bathroom, you're going to, going to get something to eat.
Right.
Okay. In the theater, you're engaged.
Right.
Right.
I have to act, if I'm going to watch a movie with someone at home, I have to know that they might not watch 80% of the movie. And that's a hard thing for me as someone who really loves movies. I have to die to self on that and be like, it might be showing someone my favorite movie, but they're probably not going to take in most of it.
Right.
Now, if you're at a theater, that's very different.
Yeah, it's true. And so I think, going back to the Hellenism theory, I think this is all part of that, right? I think the entertainment and the media. And so, the other thing, I remember, this was before your time, but back in, I guess it was the 90s, Barry Bonds, a famous baseball player, was accused. George W. Bush was accused. The Bush administration accused him of using steroids. Big deal. They called in everybody. Had a congressional hearing over there over baseball. But again, that's so important. I'm sure FIFA or FIFA, the soccer deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have extreme regulations too, and they'll call people in because it all goes back to Alexander the Great to control the people.
Yeah.
Make sure that they are listening to your narrative, make sure that they're listening to your stuff, and make sure they're watching, they're communing, and they're entertained. So they don't necessarily see what's going on, which pulls us all away from my whole point in this: Jesus, the living Christ, right? Jesus, died for us, right? We're Jesus freaks here. We're zealots. The claw, zealots, right? Toy Story, one of the great movies out there, especially with the claw. Anyways, I digress. But I think it's a big distraction. I think it's in a way. And listen, there's some movies that move me tremendously, biblically, spiritually, emotionally, and are very powerful. And I love movies. So do books. Books are great too. And also, it's great to have universities. It's great to have these things. But I think there's somewhat in entertainment, I think there's somewhat too much. What is it called? Idolatry?
Idolatry.
And what does that mean?
It means if you put it before God.
Yeah.
That's all idolatry is.
Okay. And I think that happens. In all 4 categories.
Yeah.
I do. And not everybody, but I do think that does fall in.
Yeah.
So at any rate, we did see, your mother and I saw 2 movies. We saw Marty Supreme, which I'm going to talk about, and we saw Song Sung Blue. Okay. And Marty Supreme, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it.
Why?
I think it's not a movie that...
First of all, the guy in Dune starred in it.
Yeah, Timothée Chalamet. I'm a
you
big
love
fan.
Timothy.
I'm a big fan.
Big fan.
Yeah.
And why do you like him so much?
I like him so much because he goes all in. And so, for Bob Dylan, he trained for a complete
And
unknown.
what is he, like 17?
No, he's like 28 or something like that.
He's an old man. All right.
No, but he's young.
But he's been around a while.
Yeah, yes.
The guy's got tremendous amount of success.
Yes. And he okay, so I appreciate him, one, that he's not apologetic about wanting success in the industry. So there was I think he accepted a SAG award in the last award season, and he got Best Actor for A Complete Unknown. And he said, he was very clear. He's like, my intention is to be one of the greats. And I respect that.
Yeah, instead of coming off like shucks, none of it matters.
And he's willing to be nerdy about how great he wants to be.
Cool.
And I think that is refreshing for someone that age. And you're like, okay, he cares. Like, he actually wants to build a career instead of being nonchalant, like, we'll see what happens. He's like, no, I'm going to do it this way. The other thing is, for A Complete Unknown to play Bob Dylan, he actually learned how to play the harmonica and sing, and he did.
That was a great movie.
He did phenomenal.
I love that movie.
And then this movie,
I never saw Dune, so
okay, yeah, you did. You saw Dune. You it wasn't your thing, which I understand that.
All right.
Then the Marty Supreme, he trained for 6 to 7 years to look professional, like a professional ping pong player.
Wow.
So I respect that. Like, he's not just showing up and like, let's just,
It was a bizarre movie.
It is. Okay, but why I liked it, sorry. I told you why I liked Timothée Chalamet. But the reason I liked the film was because it is bizarre. It's unique. You feel rather than know what's happening. It's more of like, if you allow yourself to be like, okay, I may not know like how this is all going to go, but if you just go through the experience of feeling, if you allow that to happen, I think that you'll enjoy the movie more.
Yeah. I mean, it was entertaining.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And his character, not to give any spoilers here, but his character reminded me a lot of the salespeople I used to have in my insurance business.
Yeah.
And back in your grandfather's day, those, New Yorkers, man.
Yes.
I love them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, every other person in New York, and Brooklyn, and Queens is a closer, right? And this guy's a closer, which was really fascinating and interesting. And it's basically based on a part of somebody's life,
Yeah,
right?
Marty Reisman, who was a table tennis world champion, just like him. And he loved to do trick shots.
Yeah.
He was a hustler as well. And he had a lot of flair with how he did things. And he would like go halfway through a match and make them think that he was terrible. And so he would learn their weaknesses.
He hustled them.
Yeah. And so he was just really like, quick and quirky.
Now, who directed this movie?
Josh Safety.
Wait a minute. What about the bear guy? He wasn't involved in any of it?
He wasn't involved in this movie.
I thought he was.
You just got mixed up because I'm a big fan of Jeremy Allen White, who is
And
who
he
was
was
in The Bear.
He was in The Bear, but he also was in another movie. Wasn't he in?
Oh, he was in the Bruce Springsteen movie.
Yes.
Yes. That was a great movie, too. Yeah.
Not as good. I think.
Bob Dylan movie, A Complete Unknown, was way better. I agree. But it was also, he did a good job, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about, did the movie inspire you, Marty Supreme?
No. I appreciated his perseverance, but he was a con man, right?
Yeah.
He was a confident man, right?
Yeah.
And that means you're con. And I liked the way he could get out of any situation, and he was never negative. And I won't give away the whole movie. I would go see the movie, and I encourage people to go see it because I think it was done in excellence.
It was
done in excellence, and it really left you thinking. I was disappointed at the very end because I wanted to see.
You wanted more.
I wanted more.
You wanted a conclusive ending.
Yes. And didn't get that.
And that's why I'm saying I think it's more about feeling.
Yeah.
If you can go into it.
It's a real artistic movie.
Yes. And cinematically, it's beautiful. How the
characters were amazing. The acting was incredible.
Yes.
I think there's going to be nominations on
for sure.
It could get Best Picture.
It could. Yeah, I think so. And I think they chose, the music choices were excellent.
Yep.
Sometimes it was like, it's intense in the way that it's almost like a...
There was a little bit too much sex scene in there for me, sitting next to my daughters.
And I knew that was coming, and I was like, great, but whatever, life goes on.
I didn't know that was coming.
I knew, and I was going to warn you, but I was like, whatever.
Pops didn't know it was coming.
You insisted upon sitting.
Well, you didn't want to sit next to the stranger.
I didn't care.
I didn't want you to sit
cared.
Next to,
I didn't care.
Well, there was a stranger guy sitting there.
Yeah, but with his wife?
Yeah, but he looked kind of creepy. So
He didn't look creepy.
I did the fatherly thing and put it.
Yeah, it was very sweet of you, and I received it. Yeah. But you also were really funny and didn't eat any of your food until the movie started.
Well, yeah, that's my Brecca and Daddy tradition.
I know.
Well, I wanted the lights down because the guy was kind of creepy next to me.
He was not creepy.
I figured he'd grab my pizza. I ordered a pizza.
No, you're being dramatic. Anyways, just a warning. It's not. This movie isn't for everyone. It is rated R.
Yeah,
and
it didn't show any
body parts,
but it did go. You knew.
You thought.
I mean,
but you thought body parts were about to be shown every second.
You did, and that was a little bit uncomfortable.
So
for me.
if that bothers you, don't see it.
Yeah, but I mean, and the language isn't too bad. It's just horrible.
There's actually, I think what was more surprising was because I knew sex scenes were coming, but I didn't know that there'd be violence.
Yeah,
that it'd be kind of intense in that way.
It was.
That surprised me a little bit.
It was. Yeah. All right. So the other movie you didn't see
this.
Stacy and I saw this movie, Song Sung Blue.
Mm-hmm.
OMG. I just want you to know.
Okay, Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman.
Excellent cast. These guys were pros. They're excellent.
Amazing.
You forgot even who they were because they took on the part so well.
That's beautiful.
And it was beautiful. And I think Stacy and I were the youngest in there. A lot of blue hairs. But it was really, really
because
good.
it was based off of a guy
in the 70s.
Impersonating
right, in the
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond back in the 70s
right.
and early 80s. And probably just the 70s out of Wisconsin. It's a true story. And yesterday I looked up with Chat GPT to see if it followed. It did. There was just a couple things in the timeline they messed around to make it more go faster.
Cohesive.
Yeah, but great movie. I strongly suggest everybody to see it. If you like anything about Neil Diamond, if you've never heard of Neil Diamond, go on your Spotify and greatest hits. His voice is great.
You should know a song.
You should know a song by Neil Diamond. And also, he's 84 years old today, and he wasn't going to let him release this movie.
Wow.
He wasn't. He was going to say no because it's all his songs are in this movie.
Yeah.
And listen, Hugh Jackman, he did a fantastic job, and they were both excellent. Anyways, they sent him the movie, and he said 100%.
Wow.
And
that's huge.
It was. And I also found out that Neil Diamond wrote all of his own songs.
Wow.
Just a gifted man. And so, anyways, go see the movie, Song Sung Blue.
Okay,
Great
so
movie.
this brings up a point, and then we can go back to Hellenism.
And I felt Jesus in this movie a lot more than Marty Supreme.
Well, I get that.
Okay,
yeah.
Marty Supreme was
I think at the
supreme failure of Jesus. It was more of a Pontius Pilate.
I think there is a message to Marty Supreme, which they didn't. This is not veiled, or it's not. You don't have to see the movie to know the message because this was a part of all the promotion. But it was about dreaming big.
100%.
Being committed to your dream.
It was very NLE.
Yeah.
Yes. Without the Holy Spirit.
Right. And I do think the end had some very beautiful redemption.
It did. No, it did. It did.
But okay, so There, I had something for you.
Song Blue about Jesus, Holy Spirit.
Oh, okay. So I believe Marty Reisman might still be alive, but I'm noticing this trend in all these movies that we brought up, and I believe that all of the main or like who they're honoring, like Bob Dylan, still alive. Okay, then you have Marty Reisman. He might still be alive. Then you have Neil Diamond, Bruce Springsteen. Okay.
Elvis,
all alive.
He wasn't alive. He's dead.
But I kind of like that these people are getting
here.
These while they're here.
Yeah,
and do you think that's a new thing that's
maybe
happening?
The first one we saw not too long ago was with Freddie Mercury.
Which one was that? Oh, Queen.
Yeah, it was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
Great movie.
Oh my gosh.
Wonderful, beautiful movie.
Really good.
And I love their music. And it's so sad that he died, the way he did. I think today he wouldn't have died of that disease. At any rate, and then you had the Elvis movie, which was beautiful. Yeah. Really done well. Who was that actor that played him? Because he really took him on well.
Yeah, and he had his accent for like a long time. Yeah. It'll come to me later.
And so, and then now the one that's coming out this summer is about Michael Jackson.
Yes, yeah.
And obviously he's dead,
right.
Sadly. And so... Yeah, so I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's done on purpose or if it...
Well, but lately it just seems to be a thing.
Yeah, it does. But this movie, I mean, it's not really about Neil Diamond, as it's more about these two people who were impersonators that did a great job up in Wisconsin. But anyways...
But do you think it says anything about our culture now that we are...
honoring them?
Doing these now, like while they're alive? Because
maybe so.
You look back hundreds of years, and I know that everything just moves faster now. Like, was it Van Gogh who... Now that he's dead, like he's much more famous. Like a lot of these people that like...
He's the one that did it, cut off his ear.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. And so there were a lot of people... Well... He suffered from a lot of things, apparently. But
cutting off your ear is one of them.
That's really bad. Yeah. But I feel like there's things that is a positive where things are moving faster. So you can kind of, it's also a negative. You can put something out there and people have more of a response than obviously forever ago, or not forever ago, but I'm not saying anything very intelligent about this, but I just find it to be an interesting trend having these things in their lifetime.
Could be. I don't know.
And I wonder...
And, they had a little thing on Pearl Jam in this deal.
Okay.
Pearl Jam is still around today. Eddie Vedder, I think his name is. Is it Eddie Vedder?
Van Halen?
No, that Eddie Van Halen is not Pearl Jam.
Okay. I don't...
You're showing you how young you are.
Okay,
For my fellow boomers out there, Eddie Van Halen has nothing to do with Pearl Jam.
I'm sorry. Let me...
That's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways, but what I was going to ask, so clearly we love movies, okay?
Yes.
So how do you, when you look at Hellenism... How do you
it's
make...
part of the entertainment.
Yeah.
It's part of the entertainment.
But on a personal level, how does that resonate with you?
Well, other than the gay and lesbian stuff all the time, I think they're fantastic. And I don't know why, listen, I love gays. I love lesbians. I love trans people, but I don't think it's as prevalent in our community as the movies think it is.
Yeah.
I think, last time I heard estimate is maybe 1.5% to 2%, maybe 3% at outset is our population.
Right.
And according to Netflix,
it's every,
like there's that. And I just think that to me is manipulation in the Hellenism theory.
Yeah.
Okay. And the way Alexander the Great wanted it, because he wanted to control. It was a lot easier for him to entertain people, keep their eye off the ball, let them have their athletics or sports. Because look, people get obsessed with sports in this country.
For sure,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, if the Cowboys win, this city is going. They're all in a good mood, right?
It's buzzing.
They're buzzing. They're all happy. When they're not, they're all pissed off, and it's not good for the bars. It's not good for anything. The cops or everybody, and so. I think it's a control mechanism.
And it does directly affect if you want to look at it, like the energy, the vibrational energy of,
Yeah.
Everyone,
Everyone,
obviously.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you've got the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
You got, that's a huge event, huge event. You got, the playoffs, and you got the Olympics, right? Which is, again, then they changed that from every 4 years to do it every 2 years.
Yeah. So you keep it
going. They wanted to keep it in front of it because,
right.
like you said, the world's moving faster.
Right.
I just think, and the people don't realize this, but this is part of our life. It's part of our DNA now, sadly. And I think that's to me, when I look back, when Bayman was talking about that, okay, it really, really affected me. I thought, okay, this is very interesting because it's prevalent today.
Yeah.
And when you have Congress calling people in because of the baseball, somebody, or the entertainment, or Taylor Swift damn thing goes down, who cares? Okay.
Right.
Then the Swifties just get screwed. Okay.
Right.
Which I'm all for it. And then so when all these things happen, I think, why does Congress care about Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, because otherwise
She has a lot of control.
she does, and all of a sudden, if all this stuff comes unwind, what happens? Okay, the people aren't pleased anymore,
Which is crazy.
It is,
and scary.
Yes.
And so I think, okay, it's like the verse. It's like, be in the world but not of the world. I think it's okay to participate. Obviously,
100%. I agree. Which I participate.
Which
in
we're
all
participators
of
I mean, we're not Taylor Swift participators, but we're participators in a lot of things. Okay, but I hope I would not have a massive breakdown.
Right.
If those things were taken
away.
And that's on me. Okay.
Right.
That's a my stewardship thing, as much
Right.
as you would feel the same way for you.
But what would listen, during COVID, they still had NFL.
Yeah. Because they knew.
They knew. Because
okay,
otherwise, first
right.
of all, anybody that was almost, especially people on the spectrum, that was almost the edge, of going crazy.
Yeah.
Well, COVID pushed them over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if we had booby hatches open at the time, they would have been full.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's really sad.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
And so they had the NFL put fake people in the stands.
Wild.
Okay, they put fake people in the stands.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And these players played without anybody in the stands.
Wild.
Okay, that's how important this stuff is.
I wish I would have, it would be interesting to hear about that experience as the players. I'm sure they talked about it.
Well, they wanted to check.
Or did they?
I don't know.
Maybe they weren't supposed to talk about it, but that's
maybe
fascinating.
Not. But I know, if your payroll checks $100,000 a week, you want it.
Well, right. So, okay, there's part of this where it's like, this is, God did put rituals. He put, and you talk about this a lot, but more in the sun and the moon. There's certain things that we need as
fall
humans.
And the winter,
okay,
and in the
but
summer,
then when
right.
you come in and start to manipulate those needs, then and that's
why people, you and your mother talk about chemtrails. Do I even believe this?
Okay, wait. So that's where I was going to go with this. How can you? I like to listen to conspiracy theories. Just because I think it's something to be aware of, and there's sometimes there's truth in them, and I probably believe in more than you do.
100%.
Okay. However, there are some that I'm like, oh, you are on board with it. I don't think that you wouldn't call them a conspiracy theory anymore. Which whatever. Okay. So knowing Hellenism and understanding that and how things work, how can you not believe in more conspiracy theories?
Like what ones do I believe in?
Well, so when there's a huge breaking news story or whatever, nowadays you kind of have to look at it, or you could look at it and say, what are they covering for? What else is actually happening in the world that the media is pumping out
the
this
tail's
story?
wagging the dog.
Yeah, and so do you not believe that happens?
Yeah, I remember when Bill Clinton was in the White House, okay, and Monica Lewinsky story was breaking, okay, and for some reason there was a lot of Tommy Hawks flying over, across Saudi Arabia, over in the hit in Syria. Okay, and making headlines.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Okay, but why that one over? There's been about a million other things since.
Well, okay, the Flat Earth Society.
Okay, well, no, I'm not talking about that.
Those guys are idiots.
I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking more about that
the moon landing didn't happen?
No,
Again,
I'm not. No, I'm not talking about that. Okay, I'm not going that far with it. I'm going more with right now, I don't have a good example for you, but
right.
okay, let's say Epstein files are being released, but then really, like news on that is being released, but you're like, actually something else is really happening. And so instead they're choosing to release information on that in this moment to take your eyes away from this. Do you believe that happens?
Yes, I do believe that happens.
I think it happens all the time.
I think so too. But we have so many, the difference is today in 2025, almost 2026, we have all kinds of news stations 24/7, right? So it doesn't have the same effect as it did 20 years ago. Right?
Okay, but I think that people are still...
Unless a little green guy comes up to the White House, okay, and everybody's... And Trump and Melania and everybody's filming this little green guy, and they get to squeeze the purple nurple on him, then then that would be a big distraction, and I'd have to say AI. And now AI is another big thing. I mean, it's really coming in,
Right.
And I think it's gonna be like the Roman candle, though.
Yeah,
it's gonna burn bright for a little bit, then crash.
Yeah,
So, but I do think there is conspiracies. Okay,
yeah,
I do believe that.
yeah.
Okay, but I don't believe that there's aliens that have come to this country. Okay, or to the planet.
Okay.
All right, because we got 9 billion people on the planet. 500 and half of them, 5 billion of them, have an iPhone. Okay, or an Android. So why don't we have a live shot of this little green guy walking around? We don't.
Yeah.
All right, that's number one.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the drones. Remember the drones
Over
thing
in New
last
Jersey.
year? Yeah.
Yep. It's all FAA. It's all government, and it's all stupid, military stuff.
Yeah.
And I get they probably didn't want to say that.
Right.
Right. So everybody freaked out,
Right.
especially New Jersey
Right.
people.
Right.
And I feel you, Hoboken.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Do you remember what else?
Let me see what else. Well, Epstein files. I believe I don't know why it's all come to this, because I think if they had Trump dead to rights with the 13-year-old girl, as a lot of theories say, I think the Biden administration would have brought that out before he got reelected in a landslide. So I don't believe that conspiracy at all.
Now, what if they made a deal? I'm not saying this happened.
Yeah.
What if they were like,
well, I know. I'm sure
know?
all the lefts think that. I think there's too much. I think there's no way when the Democrats, the Biden administration was in power, they couldn't have made a deal. They could have brought it all out and spilled it all out there. But I don't think
so what if
they hate Trump? They hate Trump so bad they would have never made a deal.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Okay, that's your thought. Oh, no, fine.
Right,
that's fine. Okay,
but
go
let's
ahead.
get on to something more interesting.
Okay, what is that?
The second coming.
Okay. So
now,
people always thinking it's coming.
It's coming. Like, why do people spend so much time thinking about when Jesus is going to come back?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like, let me escape this current reality,
What does the Bible say?
I mean,
what does Jesus say?
You tell me what.
You'll be like a thief in the night.
Right,
Nobody will know.
Right.
Right. Well, every time we have, like right now, they're trying to get peace in the Middle East. Right. I'm sure when Trump in his first administration built Jerusalem or moved the embassy to Jerusalem. They all said, okay, that's it. It's going to happen this week.
Right. Well, isn't that in Revelation, they have like specific signs?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
So how do you feel about that then?
I don't think it's I don't think it's our responsibility. I think you should always be prepared.
Spiritually prepared.
Spiritually prepared.
So what does that look like to you?
That you're prayed up, that you ask for forgiveness, that you repent your sins, right?
What about not being deceived? Like, how do you deal with the mark of the beast situation? Like, not being deceived by that.
I don't know. I see it sometimes. It kind of freaks me out. But also,
that's not what I mean. But
also, I know that we've got dominion over that, right?
Right. Yeah. But okay. So I remember the Charismania world was like, oh, the COVID shot. That's the mark of the beast. And then it wasn't. People were like, oh, it's probably not. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what are your thoughts around it?
I don't really think about that.
Okay. Why not?
I just think it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I would rather think, okay, how's the Holy Spirit moving today? How's the Holy Spirit, when I remember, I remember when the Hudson, when Scully landed the plane on the Hudson River, okay? I cried my eyes out watching that because that was the hand of God helping him do that.
Yeah.
I love seeing God's movement in real time.
Yeah. So you're
like
more,
that.
you are in more the camp of, I want to look for God today.
Yes.
Which I think that's really healthy.
Right. Because I think they've been, back, when they saw Jesus ascend into heaven, they thought he's coming back down, next morning,
So, okay, so let's say you're coaching someone and they're like, I'm prepping. What do you do? I'm a prepper.
They're prepping like
so
Mormons.
What do you do? Yeah. How are you? How do you
I'm
handle
going to
them?
respect that.
Yeah.
I don't disrespect that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when he's going to come back.
Yeah.
And so if there's 1,000 years of this, and then there's a new earth. There's all kinds of things in Revelations and stuff, which kind of freaks me out sometimes.
Right.
But I don't want to have to waste my time being freaked out. I just want to love Jesus.
Yeah.
I want to be more like him.
Yeah.
I want to show up bigger than and encompass that and help other people and lead people to that.
Yeah.
So that's I don't give that a lot of my time.
Okay.
I just don't. I think
get
there's other things that I can do.
Yeah.
There's other things that I can spend my time,
Energy
money, and
on.
resources to.
I get that. Okay, so going back to like film, how is it that, what is your experience of, I feel like God is speaking to me through this or inspiring me? What does that look like for you?
Well, it hit me this weekend with Sung Sung Blue, okay? Because the opening salvo of the song was something that your mother and you and nobody else ever heard of before except me. And it spoke directly to me when I first heard that song.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'm like, I come undone the first 10 minutes of this movie.
So it was the content of it, and it was like the way it was delivered.
100%. Yeah, and it spoke to me because that song that he sang spoke to me tremendously, and I don't know why, but it did. And I know it was through him. And so when that showed up in the movie, and I think your mother was surprised because nobody ever heard the song, hardly.
Interesting.
And I play an NLE.
I know the song
in the
then.
green room and everything else,
Yeah.
And they were like, "What the heck is he with that song?"
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. It's about God.
Yeah.
And it's in a different way than we're used to hearing our Christian music.
Right.
But it really touched me.
Right.
And so when that showed up, that hit me pretty hard.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was actually thinking about you with that song in particular. And how you like the ritual of preparation for something with entertainment and using that song or using whatever, and
it gets my heart right.
Yeah, so in the green room, and it's interesting if you look at it through like the physics way, like there is a vibrational energy from that song.
Frequency.
Right, the frequency, exactly. And so it's interesting how like we have these tools and people can, you can obviously use them however you want to use them, but for you know how to use them for yourself to prepare and to get grounded.
Yeah, and I think it's like God, in I think in Genesis, he talks about when David played a certain chord on the harp, it pleased God's ear.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
So, because he made us in his image, right?
And that's a frequency.
It's a frequency. Yeah. And what I've learned is that music bypasses our logical brain and goes directly to our heart.
Right.
And I mean, you've been on trips with us, and your mother and I start playing Boston and Foreigner and all this stuff. And there's some really cool, some cool worship songs I really like.
Yeah.
Blow through the hollows of my soul. I love who does that.
I don't know.
Phil Wickham. I don't know.
Yeah. Probably.
Anyway, it's one of my favorites. Anyways, there's certain songs that just wreck me. Mercy Me, and so I think that's. I have a knowing of that that gets me there. I know a lot of people like to read the Bible, which I get it.
Yeah.
I read the Bible.
Right.
Your mother and I are studying John right now, and I think it's good. But music really touches my soul. And, and I'm kind of weird in worship because unless it's a song I really like, I have to fight to stay in tune, present because it's really hard for me. So
do you think you're more affected by music than movies, or both, or just different?
I think movies affect me more. When they add music into it, it's a double whammy
so
for
it leaves
me.
a mark. I think movie can leave a mark.
100%.
I know a movie will change your perspective of the world if you allow it.
That's true. And
I think that's where it's kind of like the why to encourage people to watch very different kind of movies.
Yeah, how about the About Time?
Yeah, and not like sometimes people just want to watch like the fun movies all the time, and
I like those too.
they're great. I think you need those too, but I also
Dumb
think
and Dumber.
your palette needs to be diverse. If you want it to affect you, and if you want it to
make a difference in your
life. Yeah.
And I think a good movie, a really good movie, will do that. It'll inspire. It'll give you perseverance. It'll give you a new paradigm to look at and see things in a different way.
It's a real cheap,
like Hotel Rwanda. Okay, wrecked me. Okay, and I had no idea that happened.
Yeah.
You know, and it wrecked me. Hey, I looking at the clock,
It's
and we're
time to
going.
wrap up.
We're time to drop out.
great.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what in the comments. Tell us the movies that have changed you,
Change your life.
the music that
affected you.
changes you. Also, tell us if you're a victim of Hellenism, as we all are, and why you're mad about it or why you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And
Why you hate the Cowboys?
yeah, and
I love them, but hate them.
if you had any revelation on Hellenism, share that below.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for the Texans now, just in case anybody cares, which they
I
probably
cared a
don't.
lot.
I know
A
you
lot.
do. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And hey, share this podcast with somebody you love. Maybe they need to hear some stuff. We like to talk real stuff, real talk, Jesus, politics, money, all of the above. What else? Is that
That's it.
That's it. All right, Godspeed.
Okay, bye.